I believe it was Masa. Yeah, Masa, who's the co-founder of MeetRx. She is our technical co-founder, and she's the one that
Okay.
thankfully allows us to do all these things that we're doing, the
Yes,
neat stuff.
she had mentioned that I had lost 217 pounds. Actually, it's 222 now, but who's counting?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Who's counting? Good for you. Almost what I weigh. I'm about 20 pounds heavier than that, or 25 pounds heavier than that. So you've almost lost me, which if I jumped on someone's back and made them carry me around, they would certainly notice it, I think.
I would think so. Yeah, 220 pounds is a pretty big weight loss. So, but it's been good. Let me tell you a little bit about my journey.
Sure.
Just
before you do, Mark, what is the area of study, the field of study for your PhD?
In leadership,
okay.
And specifically in nonprofit organizational management.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is where I am.
All right.
So that's I actually have 4 other degrees, but again, who's counting? So I actually have 3 masters. One is in Master of Arts, then I have a Master's of Education in Religion, and then a Master's in Divinity as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm pretty tortured, I guess, when it comes to education, putting myself through all of that.
You like it?
Yes, sir.
When I finished medical school and my surgical training, I'm like, I don't want to do any more formal education. I'll learn stuff I want to, but I mean, I think I'd had enough of that. You kind of get beat out of you after a while. So yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and just dive in and let's hear about it, because it's pretty quite amazing.
Sure. So I've been pretty large, for the most of my adult life. When I was 16, 17 in high school, I graduated when I was 17 from high school. So back then, I was about 230 pounds, had a 32-inch waist. I was ranked number 4 in the state of Kentucky with drug-free powerlifting, 7th in my weight class nationally that year. So I had always been pretty, I've been watching my weight, food, lifting, been pretty healthy. And then the summer of my senior year, so I was 17, there was just like a switch that got turned off in my body, and started gaining weight. And over the years, I saw a lot of doctors after I had gained 200 pounds. I'm like, okay, something's wrong. And every doctor that I went to said, oh, basically you're just a fat guy that needs bariatric treatment. And I would tell them, that's not it. There's obviously something wrong. One of the doctors that I saw, he was like, hey, let me put you on a diet plan. And I said, okay, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. So he hands me this sheet with the diet plan on there. And he said, okay, so here's a 1,500 calorie diet. I want you to follow this for the next 2 weeks. So I start looking at this diet, and I'm just looking down through the things that he's wanting me to eat. 2 pieces of Melba toast, 2 egg whites, and a half an apple. And I'm calculating all this in my head. And I said, how much did you say this was? Oh, it's 1,500 calories. And I'm like, no. I said, I'm coming up with 800. So I started reading off all this stuff and the calorie count to him, and his eyes, they're about this big. And I said, so I come up with about 800. And he looks at me and he says, actually, it's 792. And I'm like, okay, why'd you lie to me? He's like, because most people won't do it. So Dr. Baker, I was on his diet for 2 weeks, and I gained 15 pounds, eating 800 calories a day. And my wife and kids did not want to live with me at that point. I didn't want to live with myself. So that's one experience that I had with doctors that, all they do is just, they look at what they see. They don't ask any questions. They think they have just a regular routine system that you should follow. And things just kept getting worse. So in 2016, I found myself at my highest weight, 543 pounds. In my video, I make this statement, I weighed more than a Chevy S10 was legally allowed to carry. When that's just incredible.
You see that number? It was 500 and what? 543 pounds?
543 pounds.
Wow. You got to get a
Yeah,
special scale. Most scales don't even go up to that.
right. In fact, several years earlier, I had found an old transportation scale. I mean, it's like from the 1930s or something that had, the huge weights that you could put on the end of it. And so that's how I would have to weigh myself. And it went up to like 900 pounds or something like that. Or while I was working, because back then I worked for a transportation company, I would actually go in to when I delivered or picked up places and step on the freight scale, and listen to it say, "Dear God, get off of me," and watch those numbers just keep increasing and increasing, and watching my weight go up and my waistline get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was terrible.